You've seen it before. One team has the faster players, the better dribblers, the more technical midfielders, the striker everyone talks about, and somehow, they still lose. Not once, not occasionally, consistently. This is a pattern that shows up again and again with the United States men's national team. On paper, the roster looks stacked, players from top European leagues, faster and more athletic than most opponents they face. And yet, in tournament after tournament, they've been eliminated or held by teams with a fraction of the individual talent. Meanwhile, another team that looks less talented walks away with a win. And after the game, everyone says the same thing: they just wanted it more. But that's usually not true, because football isn't decided by who wants it more. It's decided by who functions better under pressure. And that's where most talented teams fall apart. The painful truth is that talent can hide problems. A team full of gifted players can win enough games to ignore weaknesses, until they face a team that's organized, connected, and disciplined. Then suddenly all that talent doesn't look so unstoppable anymore. So if you've ever wondered why great players lose to better teams, or why your team sometimes underperforms despite having more ability, this video will show you the real reason. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing football completely differently. Problem reframe: most players think football is a collection of individual battles. Can I beat my defender? Can I win my duel? Can I make the right pass? Can I score? Those things matter. But football isn't a sport where the best collection of individuals automatically wins. If it were, every team with the most talent would dominate every competition. That clearly doesn't happen. The biggest misunderstanding in football is believing talent adds together. It doesn't. Talent multiplies when players connect, and when they don't connect, talent actually becomes less valuable. Think about two teams. One has technically brilliant players who all want the ball in different spaces, make different decisions, and react differently under pressure. The other has slightly less talented players who understand exactly what their teammates will do. Who do you think plays faster? Who creates better chances? Who makes fewer mistakes? Usually the second team, because football rewards coordination more than individual quality. That's the hidden layer most players never think about. The real reason talented teams lose is simple. They confuse quality with cohesion. Quality is what you can do. Cohesion is how well everyone works together. And cohesion wins far more matches than most players realize. A talented team can have 11 good footballers. A great team functions like one footballer with 11 bodies. Everyone understands triggers, movements, pressing moments, passing options, defensive responsibilities. When one player moves, everyone else adjusts. The game becomes smoother, faster, more efficient. Now compare that to many talented teams. One player presses, another doesn't. One player wants possession, another wants direct attacks. One player tracks runners, another switches off. The result? Small disconnects everywhere. And football punishes disconnects, not talent gaps. Disconnects. That's why you'll sometimes watch a team dominate highlights but lose the match. Their actions look impressive individually, but collectively, they create chaos. This is exactly the criticism that follows the USMNT after difficult results. Individually, the roster competes with almost anyone. Collectively, against teams who have played together for years inside a settled system, the gaps show up, not in ability, but in understanding. Lesson 1. The best teams reduce decisions. Here's something most players never notice. Top teams don't necessarily make better decisions. They make fewer decisions, because they've already solved situations before they happen. Imagine receiving the ball under pressure. If you have 3 possible options, you must think. If you know exactly where your teammate will be, you react instantly. That's faster. And football belongs to fast thinkers, not necessarily smart thinkers. Fast thinkers. The reason certain teams seem effortless is because they've removed uncertainty. Players know where support is coming from. They know pressing patterns. They know movement patterns. Everything becomes automatic. Meanwhile, talented but disconnected teams are constantly solving problems in real time. That slows everything down. And football moves too quickly for constant problem solving. Practical takeaway. When training, Don't only improve your technique, build relationships. Learn teammates' habits. Understand preferred passes. Know their strengths. The more predictable your teammates become, the faster your team plays. Lesson 2. Talent often creates ego conflicts. This is uncomfortable, but it's true. The more talent a team has, the more temptation there is for players to prove themselves. Everyone wants to be the difference maker. Everyone wants the highlight. Everyone wants the moment. But winning football isn't about individual importance. It's about collective effectiveness. Watch struggling talented teams. You'll often see players trying to solve every problem themselves. Extra touches, forced dribbles, risky passes, shots from poor positions. Not because they're selfish, because they trust themselves more than the system. That's dangerous. The strongest teams trust the process before they trust themselves. They understand that one simple pass can be more valuable than one spectacular action. The best players aren't always asking, "What can I do?" They're asking, "What does this situation need?" That's a completely different mindset, and it's one of the biggest separators between talented players and winning players. Lesson 3. Organization beats reaction. Most losing teams play reactive football. Most winning teams play proactive football. Here's the difference. Reactive teams respond after danger appears. Proactive teams prevent danger before it exists. Let's say the opponent wins possession. A reactive team starts defending. A proactive team was already positioned to defend before losing the ball. Massive difference. This is why organized teams often look calmer. They aren't constantly recovering from mistakes. They're preventing them. Every great defensive team understands space before they understand tackling. Every great attacking team understands positioning before they understand dribbling. Organization creates advantages before the ball even arrives. That's why less talented teams can neutralize superior opponents. They force talented players into uncomfortable situations repeatedly, and eventually talent alone stops being enough. Lesson 4. Pressure exposes systems. Anyone can look good when everything is going well. The real test comes when pressure arrives. You're losing. The crowd is loud. The game becomes chaotic. Fatigue kicks in. This is where talented teams often collapse. Why? Because pressure removes access to your best football. When stress increases, technical execution drops. Decision-making slows. Confidence fluctuates. What survives pressure? Habits, systems, structure. The teams that keep winning under pressure usually aren't relying on confidence. They're relying on routines. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their responsibilities. Everyone knows the next action. That stability becomes incredibly powerful. Think about your own matches. When things go wrong, does your team become more organized or less organized? Do players trust the plan or abandon it? Your answer probably explains a lot about your results. Lesson 5. The best teams value boring things. This might be the most important lesson in the entire video. The actions that win football matches are often boring. Tracking runners, providing support angles, communicating, maintaining shape, scanning, covering teammates, making simple passes, recovering positions. Nobody makes highlight reels from these things, but matches are built on them. Talented teams often focus on visible actions. Winning teams obsess over invisible actions. And invisible actions create visible results. A player who constantly scans may never receive praise for scanning, but that habit helps him make faster decisions. A winger who tracks back might not appear on the score sheet, but he prevents a dangerous attack. A midfielder who creates passing angles may never be celebrated, but he makes the entire team function better. Football rewards these details far more than social media does, and players who understand that gain a huge advantage. So how do you actually use this information? Start with your next training session. Instead of judging yourself only on technical actions, track connection actions. How often did you communicate? How often did you support teammates? How often did you scan before receiving? How often did you help maintain structure? Then during matches, ask yourself a different question. Not, how can I dominate this game? Ask, how can I make my team function better? Maybe that means making simpler decisions. Maybe it means moving the ball faster. Maybe it means organizing teammates. Maybe it means sacrificing a personal moment for a better team outcome. Those choices don't always feel glamorous, but they win football matches. And if you're a coach, captain, or leader within your team, start rewarding these behaviors. Celebrate intelligent positioning. Celebrate communication. Celebrate discipline. Celebrate selfless actions. Because culture follows what gets rewarded, and strong cultures create strong teams. The biggest shift you need to make is this. Stop thinking like a talented player. Start thinking like a winning player. Talented players focus on what they can do. Winning players focus on what helps the team succeed. Talented players chase moments. Winning players build systems. Talented players rely on ability. Winning players rely on habits. And over time, habits beat ability far more often than people realize. The goal isn't to become the most talented person on the pitch. The goal is to become the player who makes everyone around him better. Because that's the player coaches trust. That's the player teammates rely on. And that's the player who keeps winning long after raw talent stops being enough. And it's the exact lesson American soccer keeps circling back to. The talent pipeline in the United States has never been the real question. The question is whether the group in front of you understands each other faster than the group across from them does. So the next time you watch a less talented team beat a more talented one, don't call it luck. Look deeper. Look at the connections. Look at the organization. Look at the habits. That's where football matches are really won. If this video changed how you see the game, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What's one thing your team does that helps everyone play better? Because the players who understand this lesson early gain an advantage most footballers never see.